It was 2018, and I had reached McLeodganj a couple of days before my friends. We planned a trekking trip together, but since I arrived early, I needed a place to crash for a couple of nights. I wasn't ready to spend much, so I settled for a cheap hotel that cost me just 5 to 600 rupees a night. The hotel was built on a steep leap you had to climb down a long flight of stairs to reach it, and mine was the very last room at the bottom. It felt completely isolated. Right outside my door was a breathtaking view of a massive mountain covered in thick forest. During the day, it looked beautiful. At night, it felt ominous. The place was practically empty. I was the only guest. The reception was far uphill, and after evening, there was no staff around to help even if you needed it. It was exactly what you'd expect from a budget hotel. Basic, remote, and zero hand-holding. That evening, I roamed around McLeodganj, visited the monasteries, treated myself to a warm apple pie from a famous cafe, and stocked up on snacks and oranges for the night. By the time I returned to my room, dark clouds had gathered. Soon, heavy rain started lashing down, accompanied by thunder. Set up my laptop, charged both my phone and laptop just in case the power went out, and tried to relax. But the sound of pouring rain, I suddenly heard the clear, rhythmic sound of anklets, like a woman walking just outside my room. The bed was right next to the door and a large window, so the sound felt dangerously close. It wasn't random. It was steady footsteps circling the room, moving from one side to the other. My heart was pounding. I kept telling myself it must be my imagination, but the sound continued, sharp, metallic, unmistakable. There was no one else in the entire hotel. Who could possibly be walking around wearing anklets in this pouring rain? At midnight, he lay there sweating, praying for it to stop. The anklet sounds continued for hours. I didn't dare open the door. I couldn't sleep a wink the entire night. Only when the first light of dawn appeared did the sound finally. When I woke up, I convinced myself it was just a one-time thing. My friends were arriving the next day, so I decided to stay one more night instead of shifting rooms. That evening, I thought of olive wine, thinking alcohol would help me sleep through whatever happened. The second night played out exactly the same way. Heavy rain, thunder, and then the anklet sound started again, circling my room relentlessly. The wine turned out to be nothing more than sweetened fruit juice. It did nothing to calm my nerves. Once again, I lay awake the entire night, terrified, listening to those footsteps just outside my door. The next morning, I didn't think twice. I packed my bags and ran out of that hotel as fast as I could. I moved to a better place with my friends and told them the whole story. They just laughed and gave me one piece of advice I've never forgotten: never stay in suspiciously cheap hotels when you're traveling alone. Even today, whenever I think of it that night in Dharamshala, I can still hear those anklets clearly in my head.